We may have a new sheriff in town. We're definitely going to have a new state attorney, and we're going to have a new public defender. Do you think it's important for all three of those agencies to work together, or at least be on the same page in order for us to have this real criminal justice reform that the people are looking for?
So, this is not a popular answer, but for me, no, not necessarily. I have been very outspoken that I was the only candidate not to seek the police union endorsement. I swore off taking any money from police unions. And as state attorney, I'm going to have to hold police officers accountable. And I think it's really, really dangerous when you start having kind of these incestuous relationships that district attorney and state attorney's offices around the country typically have with police. What the state attorney can do, though, right, is kind of whip police into shape. And what I mean by that is, if the next state attorney goes in and says, I am no longer going to file a single case where you do stop and frisk, you're going to see stop and frisk cases disappear by police, right? Because there's no incentive anymore for them to participate in that behavior.
What about constructive possession cases? I didn't mean to interrupt you. What about constructive possession cases? Because I practice immigration law, and I have a whole bunch of clients that end up with gun charges because there was a gun in the car, and it wasn't necessarily under their seat, but because it was in the car that they don't even own, and they got charged with a constructive possession of a firearm charge. What about cases where there's no way you can make a connection with the person and that weapon?
I actually want to take a step back first and talk about pretextual vehicle stop cases.
Okay, then.
Because that's another thing that we have pledged. We will not prosecute pretextual vehicle stop cases. And those are cases, as you know, where cops are just going around pulling people over that look suspicious and then finding an excuse to search the car.
But what if the tint's really dark, though? What if they got the real tints and they don't have that light on their license plate, and the music's real loud and they're a nuisance? What if that's the reason the police officer pulled the car over? Does that make a difference?
No, it doesn't. I mean, look, to me, it can't be a pretext. And we know that police officers every day are pulling folks over, saying it's for one reason, but when and they're open about it, and then using that reason to then go in and search the car. Look, if cops are doing enforcement operations where they are looking for tags that are expired over 6 months, go do it. That's important. I don't want to have to criminally prosecute those things, but we do need to get those things fixed. But when you take the next step and use that as an excuse to harass the individual, search the car, we're not going to participate in that.
Okay.